So my name is Arpita, and I work at a studio called One of Us. We're based in London and Paris. And I've had the privilege to work on many cool movies in the past few years, like started off with, Harry Potter, then Wrath of the Titans, and went on to work on, some of the Avengers movies. And recently I've been working on some beautiful independent titles at One of Us, like we worked on Pinocchio, and we worked on a couple of TV shows, and we just wrapped up The Man Who Fell to Earth. So I have three roles that I fulfill in the company. So I do effects artist work and lead work, and I'm also the head of department of the effects department at One of Us. So the artist work revolves around receiving a brief, and the director would have a brief of what effects needs to go into that particular shot, and you find various ways to make it creative and look really beautiful, and you put it forth, and there's a constant iteration of client feedback and how do you improve it. And this can be anything from smoke, fire, water, magic, destruction, and like cloth, hair, any of these things that they want to incorporate in order to convey a story. So that is mostly what artist work is around. And we use various applications, like we use Houdini, we use Nuke, and we use a variety of tools that help us do this in the best way. And then there's also the lead aspect, which is where I manage a couple of artists, a few artists, and you help them through their shots, and you help review the work, you help with scheduling and making sure that artists have the work that best suit them. And also, again, constantly being in touch with the clients and making sure that what we're doing is in line with what they want. And then there's the head of department role, which is more managerial than artist work, where you're responsible for the entire effects department and making sure that their growth and development is in line with where they want to go. Working with production and shows to make sure that the artists are matched up rightly to the shows, and working with recruitment, and also working with the other disciplines in the company to make sure that the workflow is smooth and in place in order to get the work done well. And some days you do one job, some days you do two, some days you do all three, and those are the craziest kind of days, but it's a lot of fun. I started off in India. I'm from India originally, and I've always been inclined towards art and movies, and it's been something that's always interested me. I did visual communication, which is like a mixed media course in India, and then thought, okay, I want to experience, life and education abroad. So I came to Bournemouth University and did the MA Digital Effects course. This was back in 2008. And I think that's where my journey into VFX began, because I came here with just the desire to learn something new, and I knew I had a flair for 3D applications and generally computers. So I just put that with my passion together, and I put together a cool reel after my course finished. And my first job was at MPC, and since then it's been no looking back. It's been amazing. I'd say the first thing would be to identify what is it that you're interested in, and why do you actually want to, what appeals to you about the effects industry and this field altogether. So identify your strengths and build a reel that demonstrates that and shows your potential to contribute more to a team once they hire you. So I think the technical part of it is a huge aspect, because that's what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis. And also, I would say identifying a studio that you can see, promotes growth and promotes diversity and promotes equal opportunities for everyone. You can see that through LinkedIn, their portfolio, and, the kind of employees, like the variety of employees they have. So I think that's also identifying a studio which will give you the room and the opportunities to grow. And I think there's another aspect, the third aspect I would say, which is often overlooked but really important, is focusing on your communication and just building your character and confidence, because once you've met those opportunities and once you've attracted the studios that who want to work with you as much as you want to work with them. You want to allow yourself to grow and make the most of those opportunities. So I think just building that confidence and character and pushing yourself forward, I think that's very important. Oh my gosh, I could go on for days about the best parts of my job. I think generally the love for this love that I have for movies and for the art of movie making, it's just so rewarding that you put something out there which helps convey a story or entertain people, spread a message, and even just bring a smile to people's faces at the end of a rough day. I think that itself is the most rewarding part of my job as a whole. But besides that, being, in effects, being more of an academic kind of a department where you're constantly, you're trying to understand how nature, like how science works, and how, we use mathematics, we use trigonometry, we use all these concepts in our day-to-day problem solving tools. So I think that that constant learning process is very rewarding, because every day is different and every day brings a new challenge. And I think the other, looking at my head of department role, I would say having to, getting the chance to work with different kinds of people, it's so rewarding, because you come across, like, every person, every individual is different, and they bring on different desires and different goals and different challenges, and just working through it with them, and seeing the change that you can help create in the company is really, really rewarding. And I always say that, being the entertainment industry, I feel we have the most eclectic and most colorful bunch of people, so it's really nice to be around. Top 3 film recommendations. So the first one, which we watched very recently, is Louis Wayne. And that movie really, really stood out to me, because I found that there's so many movies nowadays that come out with effects being the center of the movie, where, it's quite out there and it's really stark that you have your special effects. But movies like Louis Wayne, where it's used to aid the storytelling, and where it actually supports the story, I found that really, really beautiful. And especially the character Emily Richardson, I was so inspired by her and her character, because the confidence and the strength and the optimism that she brings, and how she uses that, and she breaks the norm. Back in the day, how she broke the norms and did things differently, and how she used that to lift and carry people, with her alongside. I thought that was really inspiring. And there are some beautiful dialogues, like beautiful lines in the film. And there's one thing I actually remembered and wrote down, I'm going to share with you, which is, just remember how hard things get. However much you feel like you're struggling, the world is full of beauty, and it's up to you to capture it. I really, really like that line in the movie, and I've written it down in my diary to look at every now and then. So that is one movie that I found really, and the cats, I love cats, so I found that especially endearing. And the other one, I would say, it's not a movie, it's a TV show. It's Loki, which came out on Disney again last year sometime. And I liked that because of again the narrative of multiple timelines and multiple realities, where you get to see if what decisions you make, how it could lead to an alternate reality and a parallel universe. And it makes you think of various things and how we could almost make the world a better place. So I really like the use of effects in that as well. And when studios do these large scale VFX shows, it really pushes the boundaries, and it redefines what is possible in effects and what we can do with our set of tools and the artists that we have. So I really like that. And I think the third would be like a genre of, like X-Men and the various superhero movies, because as cliched as they are tending to get with so many coming out, I think it helps people visualize and imagine an amazing version of themselves, because sometimes people want to do big things, but they find it hard to paint a picture of it. So I think movies like this come out and they help people imagine, what would it be if I could do this, if I could do that. And actually helps, takes it closer to reality. So I would say these are my three picks.